2 or 3 different varietals that they sell, they can't wait 5 years for a wine to come out. Like, man, press this, age this, put this baby out on the market ASAP.
Now, there's also say, like, if we start a champagne business, we gotta wait 15 months to even get it, even to be able to get it in stores.
If you're getting, it really depends. Like the difference between like, when you have reserves, you have reserve wines that you have stocked up that you can use to help get your stuff on the market. But yeah, like even if you plant, say you start a champagne business from scratch, just talking about, you know, being a farmer and you want to start, you really can't do anything for like 5 years. You know what I'm saying? You have, really, like you have to plant your vines. You really can't even start pruning your grapes on the vines for 3 years. And then you want to wait at least 5 years so they can grow and develop. So they're ready. So they're ready for you to even start, you know, picking and pressing. Yeah, you just can't. Hey, it's just not. It's not like growing a flower. You know, I'm just gonna put some seeds in, the baby just gonna come up, and I can pick these grapes and use it legally. Legally over there, you can't do that. They're not gonna let you do that.
That's oh wow, that's ill. So well, let's talk about the wine industry for particularly with black people in it. Like how many, like do you see a lot of other black people that are sommeliers and then, you know, advanced sommeliers, and well, you already said it's only 2 brothers that are, you know, master sommeliers. Do you I mean, obviously I'm assuming you're seeing less as you go up the ladder of education.
Actually, my good friend Wanda, what's Wanda's last name? She's actually in St. Louis. I'm hoping she's actually sitting for a master exam. I gotta check with her and see where she's at. But she actually is from St. Louis. She still lives in St. Louis. I gotta see what restaurant she's at. Ask her. But she's actually up for taking a master exam. I mean, you're slowly beginning to see us creep more up into that spectrum. You gotta understand, like studying for the master's test is like studying for your doctorate times 100.
Yes, I'm assuming that to get your PhD is easier than this process.
Yeah. And so I mean the black women are really killing it. They'll just be wholehearted honest with you as far as what I've seen is overall in the wine industry collectively is black women are killing it, man. They taking the bull by the horn and just ran with it. You know, we just had our first black woman on cover Wine Spectator last year. My mentor, Miss Julia Coney, I'm sorry, is got social influencer of the year from Wine Spectator, got that award. So black women are really the ones who are really holding it down as far as us brothers. You know, I don't know. I think
I said, I don't know.
I mean, I really don't know. I think we're more. I mean, some of us are in the industry. I'm not just gonna say I'm brother. I'll just say in general, it's kind of like 2 types of wine people. You have wine professionals, then you have wine influencers. You know, and there is
break down that difference.
So a wine professional is, I would say, is somebody that, and it's just my personal opinion. This is not the
industry standard.
And this is my opinion. A wine professional is somebody who has some type of certification or accreditation behind their name, who's in the wine industry. They work in the wine industry in some capacity, you know, such as education. They work for a distributor. They're a som at a restaurant. They have their own store, you know, things like that. You're actually in the industry in some capacity. A wine influencer is somebody who, you may be an engineer, and wine is like what you do on the side, and you just on Instagram just talking about bottles. You're influencing your audience to, like, you know, drink a certain type of thing, or, you know, this is what. So
basically, it's a brand ambassador. It's a brand ambassador.
Yeah, basically. You know what I'm saying? So there's really a difference between the two. And I mean, even the term som, like even the term sommelier is so loosely used now. Like it doesn't hold the same effect that it did probably like 3 or 4 years ago. Because you have people who call themselves sommeliers who never taken an exam, but who feel like they've been in the industry and they know the stuff, which is fine.
Yeah, but that's like me saying I'm a doctor and I can just go do some operation on you and I don't have my medical degree. Like I've been in enough surgeries.
I mean, it's like anything in life. And I always tell people this. When I talk to them about being in the wine industry is that if you love it, if this is your passion, if this is what you love to do, take the necessary steps to get something. You don't have to go. Like I always tell people, like if I had to go back and do it over again, I probably wouldn't have went through the Court of Masters. Not because I didn't like the program or anything like that, but I never personally wanted to be a person on the floor every night, in a fine dining setting. That's just not my type of vibe. I probably would have done something like WSET, which is more educational. It's strictly a wine educational certification.
Okay.
And rather than, because I didn't never had a desire to, be in fine dining. That's just all I knew at the time. You know what I'm saying? So So I always tell people, like, you don't have to. They say you have to go to the Court of Masters to become a sommelier, which a sommelier is somebody who works. Some sommeliers believe that if you're not working on a floor, then you're actually not a som. But there's some master soms who don't work in the floor. They run vineyards. They strictly do wine education. So it's a very broad term to use, and it's the rock star. It's the rock star thing in the hospitality industry right now. It's just a really cool term, and nobody can ever pronounce it right.
Like, man, we got a som, man. You know the rest of the spot.
Yeah. So it's just a rock star thing in the industry. But like I said, it's an evolving thing.
So we're going to see more master sommeliers, you think, in the future in general, like more people become that, or is it kind of like they could try to keep it locked down more, or is it? It's going to be to pass the test?
I think that the Court of Masters is going through a very swift transition. They had a scandal a couple years ago. Somebody actually gave one of the master candidates the answers to the tasting portion. So that was a couple years ago, unfortunately. And actually,
so another master gave somebody that was coming up all the answers.
Yeah, the answers. Yeah, gave them the wines that was going to be. It was like the last part of the master exam. It's the tasting part. And they actually just told them what the wines was. So
was it a reason? What was the reason that they told them? Was they friends, or was it just like on some like? Here goes
I don't want to say incorrectly. I don't want to speak incorrectly about exactly what happened in that issue. From what I do remember was that I think it was one of his students or some in regards to that. Don't quote me on that. But
so he was trying to make his school look good or whatever he's training. Like, I got another master sommelier that came from my school.
Yeah, but the Court of Masters is going through a cultural transition because I personally never felt this way. I never even thought about it like this. But some of us felt that some of us Blacks felt like the term calling somebody master, like Thomas Price, first brother to become a master som. They do say like some of them do say like acknowledge me as Master Price. I never saw it as it just reminded me of slavery and took me back to slave time.
I was wondering that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I could see how that could be a issue. I just say for myself personally, I never.
Yeah, because if you're in martial arts and you got a sensei, you like Master Tanji, or whoever you training with, or Master John, or.
Exactly. So, but it became a big deal, and so the court. And also has some other things going on as well. But the court is going through some very basically some come to Jesus moments with itself. And do I think the test is going to get easier? No, I think the test is actually going to get harder.
That's what. So you think it's going to be less people that are going to pass it?
I don't even think. I think less people are going to even want to take the test because, like I said, the stigma behind the name doesn't hold the weight as it did before. Like I said. There's people out here who don't have any credentials who call themselves sommeliers. There's people who strictly take WSET or other certifications who call themselves sommeliers. I just don't think that. I think a lot of people be like, I'm not finna go through this craziness just to call myself a certain something, I can go do it another avenue. I think a lot of people are gonna really just lose the interest behind the stigma behind the court of masters, just all together.
So is there any, so after I become a master sommelier, is there any code of ethics for me?
There's always a code of ethics. I mean,
yeah. I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is, can I get in the next Jay-Z video and be like, you know, and have my jersey with Master Sommelier, you know what I'm saying? Just trick it out, give me a chain. Can I be iced out? You know, like,
I mean,
really do a rock star status. You know what I'm saying? Like, where I'm like,
yeah, I mean, I think
that, hey, let them know Cornelius is showing up at the spot. Like, you know, like
man, I mean, you
got flyers out there that, you know, special guest Master Sommelier.
be like Future in the one commercial, you know.
That's what I'm saying. And you showing up in some spot in Miami, like, you know, like, could you blow it out like that? Or is it like a low key thing of like, you know, this the game, got to know who's in the game? Like, could you market yourself to a high level is what I mean overall.
Oh yeah. I mean, it really is about marketing yourself. I mean, Dylan Proctor is probably I would say Dylan is probably the poster child for Black men in wine.
Okay.
The way most brothers dress or carry themselves. If you don't know who Dylan Proctor is, go check out the documentary Somm. It's a movie, it's 3 of them. And he's actually 2 of them. Dylan's a really, really cool brother. But the way he dressed and carries himself, his swag and all that, he thinks Dylan's from Dallas. He's from Dallas, Texas. And the way he carries himself, the way his swag is, he's kind of like that. He's kind of like the unorthodox. He's like kind of like the unorthodox version of a Somm. Okay. Still get the same point across, but he's not. A lot of people in my industry are very robotic, and they lack personality. And you know, we as Black people, we got plenty of personality. He's kind of like, yeah, he brings all that to the table, you know. And so, I mean, in actuality, they really like that. I mean, it don't be the biggest issue you have to have with doing something that big is certain wines, even champagne houses, don't like their brand being associated with certain type stuff. See what I'm saying? Like, what you do, how you market yourself is your business. But if you market yourself and be like, hey man, you know, I'm doing nothing but biology in the video, and you got girls and thongs and, you know, all that, they may not want their champagne house associated with things like that. So you have to worry about that aspect. Now, you personally do what you do, but you have to worry about, you know, what brand are you representing? Why are you doing that? Or they even want that their stuff associated with that style?
So explain, what wines and champagnes do we as people assume are good, but aren't is necessarily as good as we think they are? Like, where we be like,
I mean, it's not necessarily. I wouldn't necessarily say that they're bad.
No, but we think it's higher class than what it really is.
Oh, okay. Well, the first statement I would say in regards to champagne, anytime I teach or anytime I talk to people about champagne, the first thing I want people to understand is this: very, very carefully. Every champagne is a sparkling wine, but every sparkling wine is not a champagne. And what I mean by that is that you cannot call a sparkling wine champagne unless it comes from Champagne, France. Like I'm drinking right now, Bollinger.
Mm-hmm.
Bollinger is an IE, which is in Champagne. So this is 100% champagne. Now you go to the store, and one of them brands that we and you always joke about is Bel Air. Bel Air is not champagne. Bel Air is not even made with the same grapes that are legally used to make champagne. There is no champagne house in Champagne that makes Bel Air. Now, Ace of Spades is 100% champagne. That is champagne. It's made in Champagne. The grapes are Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. I think they use a little bit of Meunier too. But you know, that is champagne. It's costly champagne, but it is champagne. But I always tell people, like, you know, when they come and ask me, can I get some Bel Air Rosé champagne? Like,